Here are two different problems involving area of a rectangle, and one of the things that you need to know is that area is the length times the width. So in this first example, the length is 4 times the width. So if this is the length and this is the width, alright, well, I don't know what the width value is, but the length is 4 times that, 4x. My equation then would be to take the length, 4x, times the width, x, and that's the new area. So area is 60. I'm going to leave the unit label off until the end, equals length times width. Alright, so this is length, this is width. Alright, and so 4xx gives me 4x squared. Divide both sides by 4. Alright, and then take the square root to both sides, so ultimately this is 15 equals x squared. Take the square root. Normally there's a plus or minus, but remember x is width. Alright, so it's just square root of 15. Now if you have to round that to a certain number of decimal places, you would get out your calculator and then go ahead and take the square root of 15. So square root of 15 is going to be a little less than 4, which is about 3.87. And then that's going to be in centimeters. For the other length then, or the length, you would multiply that by 4. So keeping the value on your calculator, just times it by 4 and get about 15.49. And again, don't forget the unit label, centimeters, because it was square centimeters when we found the area. For the second type of problem, alright, the length is 4 centimeters more than the width. Okay, well that's different than 4 times the width. That's a pretty bad rectangle there, but use your imagination. So if x is the width again, 4 more than would be 4 plus x. Okay, and we still have 60 square centimeters for our area. So again, area equals length times width. Area is 60. The length, 4 plus x. Notice I put that in parentheses because that's one number, times the width. Multiplication is commutative, so I can move the x in front of the parenthesis. And now keep in mind, you got to solve an equation, so get rid of parentheses and then see what you have. In this case, you're going to end up with a degree 2 in the equation, which means it's a quadratic. So you've got to set it equal to 0, write it in descending powers of x, and then factor it. So I have x squared plus 4x minus 60. Move the 60 over. All right, break it down. There's no common factor. You could have used the quadratic formula as well. I know 60 is 6 times 10. So if I do a positive 10 and a negative 6, that'll add up to the positive 4 in the middle that you need. Set each factor equal to 0, solve for x. And you only have one valid answer, the positive 6, because this is width and this is a story problem. It can't be a negative width. So if x is 6, and again it's going to be centimeters, then 4 plus x is going to be 4 plus 6, or 10 centimeters for the length.